Hello, beautiful people. It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be checking this video, and it's titled Meghan Markle and Prince Harry branded innocents abroad as Colombia trip may be exploited. Seriously. Interesting. We're going to be checking this video to hear what we've got to say. Let's check it out.
Now, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are reportedly being used during their royal tour of Colombia. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are scheduled to visit next week. However, many Colombians are sceptical about the visit and worried that Meghan and Harry might be exploited as part of a PR strategy by the government. Well, joining me now to discuss this is the former BBC royal correspondent, Michael Cole. Michael, always a pleasure, my friend. I'm wondering, is this a sign of the most vehement naivety?
Good afternoon, Darren. I think the Duke and Duchess of Sussex should be concerned. That is because they have only their celebrity to sell, and they must be careful not to sell it too cheaply where they sell it. And Colombia at the moment, with its president, Gustavo Petro, is a government that is mired in controversy and some degree of scandal. Now, I believe that the Duke, and we see him there, would actually benefit by having the expertise of Buckingham Palace at this moment around him, because before there's ever a royal visit anywhere, Darren, there's careful consideration and research done.
Exactly.
And it is true that the late Queen, the Prince's grandmother, had very few regrets, but she did regret the state visit by Nicolae Ceausescu, the tyrannical president of Romania, when he came to Britain on a state visit in 1978. In fact, when he was wandering around the gardens, Ceausescu, the Queen was said to have hidden in a bush so she didn't have to talk to him. Well, 11 years after that state visit, on Christmas Day, Ceausescu and his unlovely wife were both shot by a firing squad, by outraged Romanians. Now, when these visits take place, they do give credence to any particular regime that is being visited. And I think there is a danger, certainly the Colombians seem to think there's a danger, that their celebrity, their good intentions, their willingness to help underprivileged people and to do good in the world is being undermined by, as you say, a certain naivete.
Imagine with all of this, they should do their research, maybe, because this is not even making sense. What is the essence of them visiting? We understand, okay, they are going on a visit, maybe as per their own, but I mean, regardless of how you want to see it, they still have the royal title, so people will still see them as royalties. Now, the point here is, if the Colombian people are truly worried or they are raising their thoughts and concerns regarding this, do you think they are wrong? Obviously, they aren't, or they wouldn't, because they know better. They are the ones that are living there. For me, I'm not going to say, talk about the danger of Colombia, because I don't know nothing about Colombia. I might have seen information or things talk about it in TV or media outlet and all of that, because sometimes many media outlets will report some things that would feed their narrative. Let's say something happened one place or happened in just one particular region, then they categorize it to be everywhere, speaking from experience. But again, if people from Colombia are raising their thoughts and concern about this, then what do you think? What do you think?
Michael, I wonder then, you mentioned there that their success currently entirely depends on their celebrity. Do you think that's sort of dwindling ever so? Because, I mean, the fact of the matter is they're still having to hype up new interviews and new ideas of getting things done. The podcast was a total flop. I mean, is the independent Sussex future in peril?
Well, you make a very good point. Celebrity wears very thin very quickly. And America is a very different place. You know, America wants what's new. They want the next big thing. The question is, what are you doing now? This country, the United Kingdom and Ireland, they're the home of nostalgia. That's where the old stars that used to be come here and appear in pantomime and do other things. America wants something new, and if you're not coming out with something new, you're old hat, to use a good expression. But to get back to Colombia, they were invited by a vice president whose name is Francia Marquez, and she is the Minister of Equality and Justice, Equity. And she has been described as and I quote now, the biggest fraud on the black community, because she rides around in helicopters, and she's been accused of, instead of paying attention to her job, but doing up the house that she wants to live in rather than the official residence for the vice president. So I think they've got to be careful, very, very careful indeed. Britain is very careful about these things because there's many people out there, malevolent and mischievous, who would prefer to use the prestige and celebrity of the royal family for their own ends. And that, of course, is what Prince Harry, to a very large extent, sacrificed when he decided in 2020 with his wife and young son to very peremptorily run away, first to Canada and then to California, which may have been her preferred destination all along. So in a way, I feel a bit sympathetic for them, because I think they're probably innocents abroad and they don't realize what geopolitics is going on in the background and how they may be used.
Yes. I mean,
do you even think people should be feeling sorry for them? Because, I mean, they made their bed, so they may as well lay on it, because this is the path they've chosen. This is the lifestyle they've chosen. So, I mean, let them carry on. They are adults. They're not even kids. If they were kids, people would be worried, or people would have been worried. But, I mean, these are adults, so they should know better, or they should know what they are doing, or they should know the left from the right and right from wrong. Or what do you think?
Michael, just very briefly, if you would, one of our viewers has asked, well, has this royal tour, if it's been billed as such, been approved by either the palace or the government? Because, you know, it does seem to be being billed as an official visit.
Well, that viewer has a very good question, and I think the definitive answer is no, because they do not refer to Buckingham Palace about anything they do or say.
Well, I mean, that is quite extraordinary in and of itself. Another viewer says, Markle and Windsor embark on a new leg of their worldwide privacy tour. So we'll leave it at that, Michael. Thank you very much for your company, as ever. Now, I'm still joined in the studio by former Conservative Special Advisor Charlie Rowley. Charlie, you dashed out to the shops when Harry released his book, didn't you?
I did for a cutleaf and a pint of milk, I should imagine, because I wouldn't be buying that. Available from all good libraries, I should imagine. So
is it laudable that they're going out there trying to do good in the world, or do you think it's incredibly naive and they're simply being used as sort of, you know, nice little puppets?
I mean, there is a level of naivety there, but I also think it's I think what's so interesting, I think, if you can use that word about this particular story, is that what are they going to do? And I don't think, if we were being a fair society, if we're being fair on clearly someone and a couple who have broken away from a family that they were once a part of, no longer. It's been a very, very public spat. It's been a hugely international story where there would have been all kinds of pressures, I'm sure, on all sides. But if you then want to start a new life, that's what they're doing, that's what they've claimed, and if you want it to be in charity and in helping good causes across the world, because you've got a lot of experience just from growing up within the royal family, a hugely popular international institution, or an internationally known institution, then fine. Then go and do it. But I don't know what they're doing in Colombia. And I don't think anybody knows what they're doing in Colombia.
I'm not sure they know what
And I'm sure they don't know. They're just going on tour.
Exactly.
And you think to yourself, well, what good is that going to... How is that going to help, in Colombia in any way? How is that going to better any of our view of the world, if they're going to do any kind of media, which no doubt they will? What is the point?
Exactly.
And I think that's where it becomes slightly problematic, because if you, as I say, if you just want to have a new life where you are, going to take on injustices, if they were going to Colombia to cause a stir because there might be a problem with the government, or to challenge inequality, or to challenge poverty, or to challenge a particular person, then that's fine, perhaps. The country might let you in, they might not. But at least you're drawing attention to something that actually is where they do have a platform, an international platform where we can all sometimes sit up and listen. They should be using that, I think, for the greater good, not just their own need or ego massaging.
Exactly.
Whatever. Just to go on a trip just seems without a point.
Feathering their own nest.
Feathering their own, exactly.
Well, Charlie, I mean, just finally on that, I wonder, as a former government advisor, do you see any foreign policy issues with the fact that it is been billed essentially as a royal tour, and actually they're still billed as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, their Royal Highnesses? Is there an issue there when you're going around foreign countries with sort of sketchy administrations? Is there an issue there that actually it looks official, but it ain't?
Yeah, absolutely. It will be a headache, I'm sure, for the Foreign Office on a particular level, because that is the diplomacy department for the United Kingdom. That is the one that would be advising, Her Majesty back in the day, and certainly His Majesty now, and royal visits. What is, perhaps right, what should be avoided, and the fact that there hasn't been any kind of conversation, you allow perhaps a tyranny or a government that is obviously in trouble, or whatever the situation is, whatever country they're visiting, whatever charity, whatever organisation. If it hasn't gone through those checks and balances, you allow that organisation or that particular country to throw it back into the UK's face, and certainly to the wider international community, to say, well, hang on, we can't be that bad a tyranny, or we can't be that bad an oppressive government. We've just had the Duke and Duchess of, and you will play on their titles and play on their visits. So it would be a headache for the UK and its diplomacy efforts on the international stage.
Well, there we are. Charlie Rowley on their secret privacy tour. So thank you very much for that. We'll be getting more from him throughout the show.
And this is the problem. But one thing for sure is, regardless of how you want to look at it, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they are doing, or they don't know what they are doing, or they are naive. Because obviously these are adults and they already chose this path. And whatever outcome that comes out of it, they chose it. Or what do you think? Because of course, it is going to sound like an unofficial royal tour based on their titles. But again, it is the lifestyle they chose. And since it fits their brand or whatever narrative they want to paint or put out there, what do you think? Do you think people... What do you think? I mean, it's their path. So let them continue with it. But the sad part is the fact that they are going there with their title. Or what do you think? But again, I would really love the people of Colombia to let me leave their thoughts in the comment down below, because we obviously need to hear from them as well, what they think and how they feel about this visit. Let me know in the comment down below if you're Colombian. I would love your thoughts in the comment down below regardless. You can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.